Earth 19 or Gaslight universe are Elseworld stories of DC that are somewhat placed during the late Victorian era at the turn of the 20th century, which saw the widespread applications of steam engines and propagation of dirigibles or airships. Here, we see some of our favorite Batman characters in steampunk get-ups, weapons, and accessories, while providing a nostalgic feel of a time when cities are being filled with factories and rapid advancements in the creation of steel, chemicals, and electricity have transformed societies. Welcome to DCNES, and today let's go back in history and experience Earth 19 through its characters. At the height of the Second Industrial Revolution, Earth 19 is placed theoretically after the death of Queen Victoria of England and before the First World War. King Edward rules in the early 20th century, and the Western worlds have begun to embrace electric technology into the rapidly changing social landscape. In this modernist ferment, new ideas, new futures, new crimes, and new superhumans begin to emerge. In the map of the DC Multiverse, Earth 19 is opposite Earth 34, and it is part of the glowing area together with Earths 3, 10, 13, 15, 37, 40, and 43. Now, let's meet the heroes and villains of Earth 19. Batman. Bruce Wayne came from an affluent industrialist family during the Victorian era. In the graphic novel Batman Gotham by Gaslight, written by Brian Augustine and Mike Mignola and published in 1989, Bruce became the Batman following the murder of his parents by a highwayman when he was young, with him being saved by bats. He was raised by Alfred Pennyworth and his godfather, Jacob Packer, an amusing and warm-hearted yet crude close friend of his father who was entrusted to manage the Wayne fortunes. Bruce Wayne also calls him Uncle. Between August 31 and November 9, 1888, 5 women were killed in London by a person tagged as Jack the Ripper. He then stopped after the 5th victim. Coincidentally, during this time, Bruce was traveling around the world learning new skills and lessons to aid in his fight against crime and injustice. Likewise, his godfather, Jacob Packer, was vacationing in Europe. When he got back, Bruce resumed his activities as Batman in Gotham. However, at the same time, a series of murder of women transpired in Gotham. It was revealed that the killer is the same person as Jack the Ripper in London. The police then easily connected the killings to Batman, and the public viewed him as the threat. Eventually, Bruce Wayne was framed as the Ripper when Commissioner Tolliver found blood-stained surgeon's knife and gloves in Wayne Mansion. Bruce was sentenced to hang despite meaningful help from Jacob Packer. Gordon gave him evidences they can use to prove his innocence, and from there, he got ideas of possible suspects. Pennyworth helped Bruce escape from Arkham. Batman then tracked down the killer, chasing him to Gotham Cemetery, where he uncovered that the real killer is his godfather, Jacob Packer. Jacob confessed that he was always envious of Thomas Wayne and that he fell in love with Martha. However, Martha rejected him and ridiculed him. He also went to medical school but flunked. Jacob then hired the highwayman who killed Bruce's parents. Martha's rejection caused lingering trauma to Jacob, which pushed him to kill women who resembled Martha. Sometime later, Tolliver became mayor and Jim Gordon is now the commissioner. Bruce now has a fiancée by the name of Julie Madison, who was saved by Batman many nights ago. All of them wished for the return of Batman. When the French air pirate Alexander Leroy attacked Gotham City's 20th century celebrations and the slum areas of Gotham with a special solar lens weapon from his airship, Bruce became Batman once more. Batman and Leroy took the fight to the balloon above the ship, fighting inside the hull. During their engagement, the robot fell and overloaded the engines, which caused fire in the ship. Although equally matched, Batman escaped, but Leroy fell to the fire. Batman later uncovered that Leroy was under the command of Franklin Claypool, who wanted to benefit from selling the slum areas. Julie also revealed that she knew Bruce was Batman. Batman was later forcibly recruited by Monarch into fighting against his counterparts from different Earths and become part of an army against monitors. Soon, Gaslight Batman and Batman from Earth 40 rallied the inmates against Monarch. In the Convergence story arc, when Earth 5 and Earth 19 were forced in battle, Batman, using his dirigible, released hydrogen fire to Captain Marvel and electrocuted him. However, they soon joined forces to fight Mr. Atom from Earth 5, who mind-controlled the Rogues Gallery of Earth-19. Gaslight Batman also appeared in the Infinite Crisis video of 2015 and one of the playable characters in the Injustice 2 video game of 2017. Catwoman. There are two versions of Gaslight Catwoman. The first is from the Infinite Crisis video game of 2015 and its comic tie-in, Infinite Crisis: Fight for the Multiverse. Here, Selina Kyle was a former assassin and thief for the League of Assassins before being known as the Catwoman. Born in the poor parts of Gotham City, the League killed her father and forced her to join the group. She soon became a master combatant and became the sparring partner of Talia, daughter of Ra's al Ghul, leader of the Assassins. When she refused to kill a diplomat who has a young daughter, she was excommunicated and hunted by the League. She soon redeemed herself back in Gotham and became the protector of the weak. She was soon recruited by Harbinger to help protect the multiverse. Harbinger then brought Batman of Earth-0 to Earth-19, but Harbinger was soon killed by the Two-Faced of Earth-17. On her dying breath, she asked Selina and Batman to stop Two-Faced in conquering Earth-48. Selina then used Harbinger's orb and summoned other heroes that Harbinger previously recruited, and they are Robin of Earth-43, Green Lantern of Earth-13, and Wonder Woman of Earth-17. Selina then brought them all to Earth-48, but they soon realized that the universe was being destroyed. They then went to Earth-17 and was ambushed by Wastelanders but won. They then asked the Muties to take them to Wayne Manor, where they tried to battle Two-Faced but were outmatched. Selina took the Eternal Key, absorbed its power, and used it to take him down. Then, they handed the key to the Monitor when he arrived. They soon met the other Multiversity heroes in Earth-13. Lex Luthor of Earth-19 arrived and made them realize that they all need to go to Nil, the overvoid outside the 52 realities. In Nil, they fought the Metalos from Earth-43, found copies of the Monitor to be dead, and discovered their main enemy there is Brainiac from Earth-43. Selina used the orb again to explode the Metalos. After the fight, back in Earth-19, Catwoman decided to spy on Lex Luthor as he may have stolen knowledge on magic and advanced technology from the Nil. The team then saw Earth engines placed on different Earths that can mind control entire planets, and Selina suspected Luthor as the one who built those engines. They soon realized that it was Vandal Savage mind controlling Luthor for the creation of these engines. Vandal Savage then mind-controlled Selina to fight Batman of Earth-0. The second version of Gaslight Catwoman is found in the animated film Batman Gotham by Gaslight, released in 2018. Here, Selina Kyle is an actress and socialite who advocates for more police force against Jack the Ripper, and she is the champion of the helpless. Born in Europe into a circus family, Selina was a lion tamer and she loved her cats like family. Her father hated the lions and was always threatening to shoot them, so Selina removed the bullets from his gun. Selina moved to Gotham and was taken in by Sister Leslie's orphanage. Selina became an actress and singer and opened a theater. When murders of women committed by Jack the Ripper became rampant, Selina accused the Gotham City Police Department of not trying to catch him since the victims were women. One night, she was targeted by the Ripper. She fought him and was saved by Batman. During her performance at the Monarch Theater, Bruce was immediately enamored by her and she did likewise. At the death of Hugo Strange, Batman was injured and chased by the police. Selina found Bruce, got him in the carriage, and discovered that he was Batman. She took off all his gadgets and costume and they pretended to be making love when the police opened their carriage. The morning after, the police came and Bruce was arrested as he is now being suspected as the Ripper. When Bruce was jailed at Blackgate Penitentiary, she tried to convince him to reveal his identity to Police Commissioner James Gordon. When Bruce refused, Selina decided to tell it to Gordon herself. However, Gordon injected her with a drug and revealed himself to be the Ripper. She barely escaped and painted a projection lamp with the bat symbol with her blood, which allowed Batman to find her in time. Alfred Pennyworth and the orphans soon arrive to rescue them. In the end, Bruce and Selina watch the destruction of the fairgrounds with sadness. James Gordon. Still in the Gotham by Gaslight animated movie, James Gordon is the police commissioner in Gotham and a member of the city council. Gordon was born left-handed and was forced by nuns to write with his right hand. He uses his right hand when he is a normal person, but he uses his left hand when fulfilling his murderous role. During the American Civil War, he served in the Union Army as both a field medic and a multi-awarded soldier, where he also obtained remarkable combat training comparable to Batman and suitable medical skills. However, the war broke Gordon mentally and pushed him to think that the immigrants, criminals, and prostitutes are the source of war and atrocities, and that all women are all sinful by nature. He even tortured his own wife, Barbara Gordon, to drive out her sin by burning her face. He then started killing prostitutes and other women and became Jack the Ripper. Some of his kills were Ivy, a dancer at a gentleman's club, Sister Leslie, head of the orphanage who took care of young Bruce and young Selina, Hugo Strange, head of the Arkham Asylum, and Marlene Mahoney, who thought Bruce was the Ripper. With Mahoney's death, Gordon was able to frame Bruce as the killer. Batman later discovered Gordon's secret room containing news articles about the Ripper, his surgery tools, chemicals, and preserved internal parts from his victims. On his final fight with Batman, he burned himself when the Ferris wheel caught fire. Wonder Woman. This Wonder Woman is based on the graphic novel Wonder Woman Amazonia, published in 1997, written by William Wessner Lobbs. The characters from this novel was first assigned in Earth 34 after the Infinite Crisis event, but was later assigned to Earth 19 during the New 52 relaunch of DC. In this story, the timeline starts with the murders of women in Whitechapel, London, and the eventual burning of the royal mansion that led to the death of Queen Victoria and the entire royal family. Only two heirs were left, Prince Edward, Duke of Clarence, and his American cousin, Jack Planters, who saved the Duke during the fire. Because Prince Edward's full body is paralyzed, speechless, and helpless, the next king was Jack Planters, as he was in a direct line to the old Plantagenet kings. He also had ties with various industrialists in America and Britain. With his business expertise and international influence, he decisively created foreign policies, invested heavily on airships, and conquered France while obtaining allies from many other countries. He married a Prussian princess who mysteriously died in childbirth. However great as a leader, the misogynistic King Jack was cruel to women and wanted the feminine side of men be eradicated and for all men to treat the women as lower-class citizens. Thus, women's rights were suspended and all men followed the king in his cruelty against women. Meanwhile, in the island of Amazonia, home of the Amazons, when Diana was about 3 years old, a Royal Air Marine squadron led by Captain Stephen Trevor crash-landed in their island. He was treated as an honored guest and he saw how their civilization was fearless and run completely by women. Trevor then promised that he will not tell anyone about their island. However, he informed the British government about this discovery. Because the reign of King Jack is all about putting men in power, it was viewed that Amazonia can be a huge threat for his kingdom, and so the British military attacked the island, poisoned the inhabitants, and slaughtered the Amazonians. Despite the fierce battle, the Amazons fell. A British soldier found the baby Diana from her dead mother and sold her to a workhouse. She grew up on the streets of London, stealing food in the poor district of Whitechapel, and made good friends with Etta Candy, who worked together with her in assembling books. Some years later, Stephen Trevor discovered Diana, took her off the streets, married her, and made her the star of his theater called Museum of Oddities, which acted out Bible stories with Diana showing off her outstanding physical capabilities. However, Stephen Trevor was always unkind to her, using force to make her walk behind him, making her wear shackles when walking with him, and forcing her at night. Meanwhile, the women of London have started to vanish again. Without her husband knowing, she eventually adopted the heroic persona of Wonder Woman, saving women and organizing the resistance against Jack the Ripper, who now turned out to be a group of men. Of course, this crime-fighting woman was noticed by King Jack. She also reunited with Etta Candy, who became a prostitute. Diana convinced Stephen to make Etta Candy become their children's governess. Diana's act in Trevor's theater also caught the attention of the royal family. During one performance, the king and his son Charles watched the performance, but an assassin was there to kill them. Diana stopped the assassin and saved both the king and the prince. Trevor and Diana were then invited to dine with the king. At the dinner, Diana was drugged by the king as they have discovered that she is Wonder Woman and was taken to Amazonia where the remaining Amazons have become slaves. Then, the king appointed Steve as major and made him and his men drink potions that filled them with bloodlust. They were then tasked to kill the Amazonian slaves. When the women saw how Diana resisted these men, they realized that she was their princess. They organized a revolt and fought their captors. When Diana faced Steve, she tried to reason with him, but he became insane, which pushed Diana to kick Trevor to his death. During the altercation, King Jack revealed to Prince Charles that it was him who burned the royal family, and he killed his mother, the Prussian princess. He also revealed that he is the Ripper. King Jack tried to shoot Diana, but the Duke pushed his chair towards the king that made the king fall into the spikes and died. And Diana quickly saved the Duke. Afterwards, Prince Charles became king and married Diana, and peace was restored in Britain and Amazonia. Accelerated Man. The Accelerated Man is the Flash of Earth 19, and he also possesses the Speed Force and all related capabilities, including traveling into different realities. He was recruited by Red Racer of Earth 36 to stop Superjudge, the alter ego of Nix Uotan, the Last Monitor. He was also summoned by Barry Allen of Earth Prime, together with the other Flashes of the Multiverse, when he was investigating about the presence of other forces such as Steel Force, Sage Force, and Strength Force. Accelerated Man advised that Barry should go outside his comfort zone to learn about the balances of forces. In CW's Arrowverse, the Accelerated Man has a connection to the Speed Force that allows him access to the multiverse. He works with Gypsy at the Collector Agency, and he emits purple bolts of lightning when using his super speed. Gypsy. Still in the Arrowverse, Cynthia Reynolds, also known as Gypsy, was a collector agent on Earth 19 who was responsible for capturing interdimensional jumpers. He is the daughter of Josh, the Breacher. The Breacher is the head of the Collector Agency, a group that executes the worldwide ban on interdimensional travel. She is a Viber, she can easily travel between different realities, and she can project energy blasts. On Earth 19, dimension jumping was made a capital offense after a neighboring Earth invaded the Gaslight Earth. Gypsy was tasked to bring back H.R. Wells of their Earth, who had traveled to Earth 1 after being uncovered as a fraud. Traveling to Earth 1, Gypsy quickly overpowered the team at Star Labs. However, Cisco Ramon fought and defeated her, and she returned to Earth 19. Gypsy traveled to Earth 2 to catch a criminal, but was mind-controlled by Grodd to use her time-breaching powers to travel to Earth 1. She later became the love interest of Cisco, and when her father retired, she recruited Cisco to become the new head of the Collector Agency in Earth 19. Blue Beetle. Daniel Garrett was a leading Egyptologist at the Gotham Museum of Natural History and possessed the Blue Beetle scarab. He helped Batman in resolving the frequent attacks of Man-Bat that victimized women at night. At the same time, the challengers from beyond, namely Donna Troy, Kyle Rayner, Jason Todd, and Bob the Monitor, arrived on Earth 19 looking for Ray Palmer. Blue Beetle reported to the challengers that Ray Palmer had visited him and had left days ago after saying preparing for the worst. Blue Beetle and Batman then teamed up with the challengers in stopping the Man-Bat. The next night, they encountered a swarm of Man-Bats, but they soon discovered these to be rooted from Kyle Rayner, who had been bitten by a vampire in Earth 43. Kyle turned into a monstrous vampire-like creature. Monitor Bob told Blue Beetle to purge the vampiric essence from Kyle by using the scarab. Kyle was healed and they parted ways. Lex Luthor. Back to the Infinite Crisis Fight for the Multiverse series, Lex Luthor is the richest man in Metropolis, and he invented galvanic power called Lextricity. He was also recruited by Harbinger, which opened Luthor's awareness for other universes. Luthor declined and Harbinger was later found dead in Gotham. When he realized how advanced her technology was, he created a contraption that would allow him to follow the traces of Harbinger's orb from Earth 19 and travel to Earth 13 and met the heroes of the multiverse, all recruited by Harbinger. All of them do not trust Luthor but allowed him to join because of his intellect. He traveled with them to Nil and found the Metalos and Brainiac of Earth 43. With them, Luthor recorded and learned the magical machinations of Earth 13, the technologies of Nil, Harbinger's Orb, and the Eternal Key. Luthor used the Eternal Key in Nil and they won the battle. Later, Luthor was able to invent a mind control device. However, Vandal Savage used it against him. Vandal Savage commanded Luthor to create Earth engines that were placed on different Earths so Vandal can control the multiverse. When accused, Luthor used his armor against Superman and Batman of Earth Zero, and yes, Luthor also has an airship. Hawkgirl. Shayera Hall is the Sky Queen of the South. She is vengeful and she hates Luthor after she realized that she was mind-controlled during the peace accord in Singapore. She was also recruited by the multiverse heroes to help them and she is attracted to Superman of Earth Zero. The Ant Metal in her armor protected her from the mind control of the Earth engine and mind control from Vandal Savage. Ant Metal also protected her army. Her mace can break through Luthor's armor and hurt Nyx Uwotan. Aquaman. Like Shayera, King Arthur, the Lord of Atlantis, does not trust Lex Luthor and thinks his summit as a scheme for political gain. However, during the summit, Luthor used his mind control gadget to Arthur so he would agree on his plan. His fleet is technologically advanced. After the destruction of Earth engines, Arthur and Shayera helped Luthor arrange genuine peace treaties. Joker. One of the playable characters in the Infinite Crisis video game, Gaslight Joker butchers his opponents with a bloody cleaver and swarms of starving rats. He is also known as the Laughing Butcher and this world's most infamous serial killer, with a build similar to a sumo wrestler. His bleached face was due to him plummeting in a vat of chemicals. In the comics, he was later seen in Arkham Sanatorium, visited by Lex Luthor. He has a Germanic accent, extremely muscular, and likes to play cards. Eel O'Brian. Eel O'Brian is the Plastic Man of Earth 19, and he became like this after falling into a vat of chemicals in a plastic processing plant. One Christmas Eve, he stole Rothschild's new car, carrying the expensive gifts for charity. Of course, he was apprehended by Batman, and Batman advised him to become a hero instead of a villain. Victor Freeze. Victor Freeze is a student of Sub-Zero thermodynamics who uses his scientific discoveries for malevolent means. He became part of Batman's Victorian Rogues Galleries when he and the others were mind-controlled by Mr. Atom from Earth 5. Later, he was trying to fight Batman and Eel O'Brian on a Christmas Eve and was successful in freezing Batman. Eel O'Brian tampered with his suit, which caused it to explode. This explosion caused for snow and toys to fall into Gotham. Steam Lantern. Although not officially part of Earth 19, one episode in the Green Lantern animated series can be considered relevant to the Gaslight universe. The Steam Lantern, real name Gil Broom Esquire, is their version of Green Lantern in this industrial world. His suit is powered by steam and a rare element called Hard-to-Findium. This suit was created by Lady Catherine, and together they fight the tyranny of Duke Nigel. Of course, they also have an airship here, aptly called Battling Bathilda. Jason Blood. In the Earth 19 version of Batman Brave and the Bold animated series, Jason Blood or Etrigan became the primary suspect of the local population for the series of murdered and extremely shriveled women. These crimes were actually committed by Jim Craddock, the gentleman ghost who steals the souls of his victims and give it to Astaroth in return for immortality.
That sounds like number 9. Gone form of man! Arise, the demon, Etrigan!
Other characters in Earth 19 are the Shrinking Man, Detective Colonel Harlan Sanders of Gotham City Police Force, the Riddler, Killer Croc, Dr. Sigmund Freud, Dr. Kirk Langstorm, Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, The kids, Dickie, Jason, and little Timmy, Harvey Dent, and a Joker lookalike who is a merry widower who married 10 rich old ladies, then poisoned them with strychnine. When caught, he tried to poison himself but only paralyzed his face. So there goes Earth 19, a steampunk reality defined by airships and Jack the Ripper. Were you satisfied with the film Gotham by Gaslight, especially about the revelation that Gordon was the Ripper? Will you be interested for the Amazonian novel to become an animated movie? Which Earth would you like to be featured next here at Disney's? Write down your comments below and hit subscribe.